Hey guys, and welcome back to our next episode of the Unnamed Podcast.
Yeah, the Unnamed Podcast, I guess is what it would be.
This is Melea, and
Zachary.
if you're watching this and you don't know us, then
Probably should have done that in the first one as well,
yeah,
shouldn't
I
we
didn't
have?
even think about that.
Okay.
So what are we talking about today?
Well, the first podcast that we did was close 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, probably further back than that. But we talked about our everything, not our favorite, everything that we've ate at Disney. Because, we're in the middle of the stay at home, so we can't, well, that doesn't matter. Regardless, Disney's closed at the moment. So our next one we thought about talking about was when Disney opens back up and everybody starts going back and we go back, what's our top 5 rides that we're looking most forward to riding?
I would actually call this our top 5 favorite rides, though, because I do have some rides that I'm looking forward to riding too. So this is going to be our most favorite rides.
Okay, so just top 5 favorite rides then. Okay.
All right, so we really didn't have any rules for this. It's not all dark rides. It's not all thrill rides. I like dark rides, but they're not my number one. So most of mine are not going to be that.
What was the dark ride that we rode that I liked but you didn't?
Dark rides are the ones that are in the Haunted Mansion and where you sit on an Omni mover.
I was thinking
thing.
What's the ride that I'm talking about? It was completely in the dark that I liked, but you didn't. It was me, you, my sister, and brother-in-law rode. The roller coaster that's completely in the dark and you're right in front of one another.
Oh, Space Mountain?
Yeah.
I like Space Mountain for nostalgia, but I felt like my head was going to get chopped off the entire time.
Yeah, I mean,
duck.
Obviously... Yeah, obviously you're not going to get your head cut off because they wouldn't do that. Obviously,
can you imagine someone who's 7 foot tall? You couldn't ride that. There's no way. There has to be a height requirement.
I watched a video where somebody rode it with the lights on, and you're not going nearly as fast as what you think you're going.
I feel like you're going
so much faster. But even in the video, it looked like if he would have put his hands up. He would have hit. Yeah, he would have hit the.
You should do that. You should reach really high because you have a really long arm span and see.
What if I
broke your finger?
What if right as I put my finger on the track, it rolled over and I lost all my fingers? And you was the one that told me to do that. And then I have just 4 nubs.
He's got long fingers. He'll be all right.
Okay.
Okay. Starting with, are they in any particular order? Mine aren't. Should we try?
No, mine aren't in any order. No.
So while we were talking, I realized that I missed one. So I have my 5th one is very fluid, and I'll explain that when we get there.
Very fluid?
Yeah, because I can't figure that one out. I've got 3.
Oh, you're saying you got okay. My first one is
your most favorite ride ever.
At Disney?
Yes. The one that I knew you would say.
Flight of Passage.
Yeah.
Flight of Passage is... Anybody that's rode that ride immediately understands why I say that, if you liked it. If you've never rode it, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you've never rode it and heard someone talk about it, then you kind of have an idea. But Flight of Passage, from the moment you get on the line until the moment that you get off of the ride, you're constantly looking at stuff, constantly surrounded by stuff. I mean, you're immersed in it immediately.
And if you watch the movies, I think it even makes it better for you.
If you like the Avatar movies, that's what the ride is based off of. You're riding a banshee. But the crazy thing is they made you...
What do they call him? Ekron? Yeah. Ekron.
They make you into an avatar because you have to be an avatar to be able to ride it. So the room prior, before you go into where the ride is, they make you into an avatar, and then you see yourself as an avatar, and it's just really, really cool. And I'm just going ahead and getting that one out of the way because that one's.
I really like that ride too. It's not on my list. Mostly, I think because the first experience, I waited how long? 3 hours?
Yeah, but
I know.
The thing is you're at Disney. You're going to wait regardless of what you're doing, what time you're going. You're going to wait. So
But
that's kind of a sorry reason to say
I
you
do
cheated on the
like
ride.
that ride, but it's not. It's in my top 10 for sure because I love the smells on that ride. I have two of the Magic Candle. One's from Soarin'. No, they're both from Soarin'. I like the Banshee Flight smell. I think we're gonna order that one.
Yeah, that
eventually.
one. It's got
smells so good.
It's got smells. You're
Water
basically riding.
on you.
Yeah, you're riding on the back of a Banshee, so it's not like you're sitting in a normal ride how you would sit all the way down. You actually mount almost like a motorcycle. You mount the back
the
of
Tron
this.
light cycles is what it reminds me of.
But anyway, you mount on the back of it, and then it has these grips that come and closes in on your back, and then kind of closes in on your hips and everything. And at certain parts, you can actually feel the thing that you're sitting on moving, and it feels like the Banshee is breathing.
Yeah,
it's just
cool.
It's crazy. Every aspect of immersion is in that ride.
I really like the movie a lot, and I've watched it several times. So that it was really cool to see. In the world that it's in. Oh my gosh, Pandora is beautiful. So yeah, I definitely recommend that ride also. All right, so my favorite ride. I have a hard time with saying exactly what my favorite ride is because I'm pretty sure that my favorite ride I haven't even rode yet. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make that my number 5, Rise of the Resistance.
Oh my god.
I've never even
That should have been all. That should have been the rules. That if you haven't rode the ride, it doesn't count.
Okay, but I've watched so many POVs and heard so much about it, and we were going to ride it. We're going to try our best. We still haven't been able to, and we probably won't get to, and I doubt we will in 2020. At this rate. I don't think
we're going to
go back to the parks in 2020. Everybody's been missing riding that ride, so they're just going to cram Hollywood Studios. So it's going to be a long time probably, but I know I would love that ride because I've recently, within the last 6 months, really enjoyed the Star Wars movies and getting into learning about everything, and I really like the new ones. I know a lot of people don't, particularly care for them as much, but I actually really like them. So
this is getting off topic, but I just want to say this. I just think everybody tries to compare them to the original 3.
Yeah. And
you're never, ever, ever going to hit that mark that those original 3 were.
I think what it is that they're we keep having a different generation of characters, right? So Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, everybody, that was in Mark Hamill, that was the parents. I mean, to the new characters, right? Because Kylo Ren is...
Well, just Kylo Ren.
Well, but you know what it feels like? It feels like they passed the baton down to them. And I think that's
really cool. A lot of people didn't like that they passed.
I thought that was adorable when Carrie Fisher was being motherly to Rey and hugging her, even though that really wasn't her. But in the movie was hugging her like that. I cried at that part because I just felt she had never had that. She lost her family. She had never had that feeling, so it was really emotional. I liked him because of that, but
don't get me wrong, I liked the movies too.
I also really like. I want to see the Knights of Ren show. I know they're coming out with that on Disney Plus, so I think that's going to be pretty cool. Okay. Because I want to know what they are and who that is.
Okay. My next one is Living with the Land.
That's also on my list.
Is it? Yeah. Well, then we can just talk about it together.
Yes.
Living with the Land.
Sponsored by Chiquita.
What?
It's sponsored by Chiquita Bananas.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh. The company.
Cool. If you've ever rode Living with the Land, I could see people either really liking it or thinking it's really boring. Yeah. But at the beginning of it, you're basically on this boat and you're going through, I guess it would be a dark ride.
That part is, yeah. Dark boat ride.
Yeah, boat ride. And you go through and you kind of learn a little bit about agriculture and the different types of land.
And how farming has evolved.
Right. And then you basically open up into this greenhouse and you get to see how Walt Disney World is growing plants. And you see plants, all different types of plants. Lettuce, tomatoes.
Depends on what season. We saw different plants.
Yeah.
The third time we went on it than we did the first and second time.
All plants, flowers, vegetables, fruits, everything. Different fish, different ways they can grow. Like one of the coolest things that I saw was it was a hanging where they would hang the plant up in the air, it would suspend, and the roots would just grow straight down into nothing. There was no soil, no nothing. And they were on a conveyor belt, and they went through a mister where it missed the roots, and then it would come back out, and it would dry for a little bit, and it would go back in, and it would miss the roots, and that's how they were growing those plants, and I thought that was pretty awesome.
I like living with the land because I love any of the rides that are boat rides because I like the smell of chlorine. First of all, it's very comforting to me.
Okay.
Next, because it's really different because it is educational, and it really, I think the first time we rode it back in May, it kind of like sparked this need for us to want to grow things and
Definitely
grow our own plants, and then we just thought about it for a while and really didn't do anything. And then in January of this year when we went back and rode it again, like it really kick-started, we rode it in July too. We rode it
3 times.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, Zach was like, we're going to do it. We're going to build this stuff, and we started to do it. And we're going to plant our vegetable garden hopefully the beginning of next week, maybe middle of next week.
Sometime next week.
Yeah, sometime. So
we just went and we just went and got a bunch of pallets from a paint store down the road from where we live. And so we're going to use pretty much all those pallets to build a raised flower bed. And then we're going to actually till up some ground and actually have a garden in the... Anyway, getting off topic here. Another big reason why I like living with the land is the actual length of it. It's a pretty long ride.
It's also very air conditioned, but then there's heat from like the different scenes.
Right.
So that's really cool.
It's a greenhouse.
But then in the like farm scenes and in the desert, it's
very
warm.
cool.
In the tropical scene, it's warm too.
So that's that. I really like that. It's a long ride. I mean, it's a
relaxing.
Yes, I agree.
And I liked watching. Savannah was sitting with me. Yes, our niece Savannah was sitting with me when we went through it the third time, and watching her look at everything was really cute, and she really enjoyed it. So,
do you want to do your third, or you want me to do mine?
My next one, probably favorite is Expedition Everest.
Okay, that's one of my honorable mentions at the bottom.
I love Expedition Everest. First of all, because of the Disco Yeti. That's like a really big thing that people talk about in the Disney community.
Yep.
The Yeti on Everest actually, it's not the Yeti that's broke. It's fully functional animatronic. It was one of, and it still may be, not sure about that, the largest animatronic that had ever been built. But when Disney turned it on and, they started running the ride when it was built in like 2006, I think that's when it was completed. It was also the most expensive roller coaster ever built at that time. Until 2018 or 19 when Hagrid's motorbike adventure opened.
Yeah, that seems pretty incredible as well. But
yeah, that's another time.
When we actually go there and ride it.
But the Yeti was so big that when it would swing its arms like it's supposed to, it started cracking the foundation of the mountain. So they had to turn it off. So now they have like disco lights on it. So they call him Disco Yeti.
I don't know if any of y'all, I mean, I'm sure if someone that's listening to this has been to Disney and realize how huge that Everest mountain is. I mean, it is
how big he is in there.
Massive. And to think about him moving the arm of the animatronic and it was cracking the foundation of the mountain, that's insane.
Yeah, but he's a really cool looking animatronic. If
9
you
times
look
out of
at
10,
him, I have focused so hard, like
I was about to say
binocular vision.
9 times out of 10, I cannot handle strobe lights. I cannot do it. So 9 times out of 10, when we get to that point, I close my eyes until we get through that.
Everest was
not because I'm scared of the Yeti. I just literally can't.
Please say that again, Jeremy Clarkson.
I just literally can't handle the strobe lights.
Speaking of Jeremy Clarkson,
it's like when we go into haunted houses. I can't do. It just messes with my brain.
We did a photo shoot in there recently. Jeremy Clarkson said that there was an announcement today about the Grand Tours episodes, so you might want to watch that later.
I need to watch that.
Anyways, there is a lot of strobe lights, but my favorite thing about Expedition Everest is I don't think any other roller coaster at Disney had gone backwards up until that point, until that was built. Don't quote me on that. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. It goes backwards. It's really fast, really thrilling. The sounds, the queue. You see all the explorer stuff about people who were on the expedition trail. It's really cool.
Okay, my third one is Spaceship Earth, and I've only rode this. I've only rode this one time, and it's in the what do you call it? The sphere,
the geometric sphere, I think.
In Epcot, the big ball, the big golf
ball.
It's in there, and it's basically just you get in this little train-looking thing, and you ride. It takes you up and around, and as you go up, you kind of see evolution of humans, and you see, like what life might have been like in historical moments in time. And I've always thought the idea of being able to be a fly on the wall in certain times and periods would be amazing. And that ride is essentially, that's what it is. It gives you a pretty, probably a pretty accurate look of what times probably looked like back then.
Wasn't it Bill Gates in the computer scene of the garage?
I'm assuming that's
everybody asks.
And I'm willing to bet that's who that is because
there's actually two men in computer scenes. There's one at the garage, and there's one that's based in like the 80s where they're sitting around a bunch of computers too. But I thought Bill Gates was the one in the garage.
I think he is because again, like she said, don't quote me on this, but I'm almost positive Microsoft and Apple were both created in
Maybe
the
one
garage.
was Steve Jobs.
No,
that
because
was too recent.
Yeah, I was about to say that was. I mean, that was a while back, but Bill Gates was he was prior. He was before then. Yeah. So anyway, but my absolute, I would say 75% of the reason why I chose this one is for the 30 or 40 seconds that you're at the top of the ride before you start going back down. You open up into this. It's almost like you're on the moon. Like it's crazy. You open up and everything opens up and you're at the very top of the ball, and you can see the curvature of the ball, and there's boulders and like mountain looking things everywhere around you, and you just look up and they've just recreated the night sky. And now granted, this was I don't know how many years ago, so it's not like you can see galaxies and planets and stuff like that. It's not like that. It's basically that
it's a very old ride.
They put twinkle lights and it's just amazing. I mean, I once we went into that room, I did not put my head down or look anywhere else but up until we came out of that.
So I'm glad we rode it in January because it's going through a refurbishment, or it was. I don't know that it will now because of everything that's happened, but it was going to go through a refurbishment and get.
Well, I would have loved to see it after the. I'm glad I got to ride it because if they would have changed too much, then I think I'd have been a little upset about it. But all right, your third one.
My first one that I talked about is in Hollywood Studios. My second one that I talked about was in Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
The next one was in Animal Kingdom, and I'm gonna throw in a Magic Kingdom ride here now.
Okay.
I had a hard time with picking a ride in Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Really because I like them for nostalgia reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have to say Big Thunder Mountain Railroad would be another
Okay,
one.
well then that's one of mine too, so let's go ahead and talk about that together.
Because I love Frontierland, and I know he does too. He loves Frontierland. It's my favorite area other than the
Liberty Square?
Yeah, Liberty Square area. Because it's just so cute, and there's little cowboy stuff everywhere. I wish there was actual cowboys walking around. There used to be. Did you know that back in the day?
I did not know that.
They used to have cowboys.
I'm not surprised. I mean, that makes sense. It's
I think it was
Frontierland.
more so in Disneyland. Yeah. But I've spent a lot of time in Disneyland's Frontierland and Walt Disney World's, and I think it's really cool. Both places, I really loved it. The atmosphere, the music. Splash Mountain is one of my honorable mentions, and it's in that area.
Really?
I love Splash Mountain.
Wow, I didn't put it in.
You know why? It's because the only ride I remember riding as a kid.
Oh, really? Okay, well that makes sense. I didn't put that. I loved it. I mean, it was. I'm sorry to change the subject, but it's
really old.
You know that the drop's going to come at some point. It's like let's get through all of this.
We'll talk about Big Thunder Mountain.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We'll come back to that when we talk about the honorable mentions.
Okay.
But it's really fast to me. At Disneyland, it has the dynamite exploding, and they say it's actually better, and I'm pretty sure I rode Big Thunder. I'd have to check again at Disneyland. But it's just cute, and there's trains, and it's really fast, and I love when it's doing the little yodeling part.
That was one of my reasons is that it's a very fast, let's rephrase, it's a fast roller coaster, but it's a very easy first time roller coaster for like, you know, a kid or somebody that's not too.
I don't know. Megan is 8, and I think that
she rode it and she freaked out.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is, a kid that has got on smaller roller coasters, like the Barnstormer, and a few other ones, and enjoyed them, and then wanted to get a little bit. That would be the perfect.
And also,
room.
It's just the theming is excellent. It's beautiful.
That's another one of my reasons.
The only thing I hate is when I go look at this beautiful theming that Disney has done, their hard work, the hand painting that they've done,
the detail,
and then
everything.
You see freaking hair bows and pennies all throughout that ride. People flick them everywhere. And they do that on Splash Mountain and at Expedition Everest. Stop doing that. If you're listening to this and you do it, don't do it.
Wait. A lot of times, they'll go through and they take all of those pennies and those nickels and dimes and they donate them to charity.
But those have been there forever. They don't clean... Small World, they don't clean that out. There's no way that they do.
They do. They go through and they clean it out, and then they donate it as a charity. So continue continue throwing the pennies and the quarters.
So disrespectful. Okay, why did you?
No, the hair bows I can get with.
Yes.
Yeah, don't get on that.
Why did you like Thunder Mountain?
We talked about the area.
I really wish there was like a cowboy, animatronic cowboy, and then I would.
We talked about the areas, so that was mine. Mm-hmm. One of my reasons. It's quick, but it's a very easy roller coaster.
And there's two paths you can go on.
Yep.
So you can load fast.
Yep.
We've gotten on Big Thunder Mountain without a fast pass a couple times.
And then the line and the props and just the atmosphere of the waiting in the line, getting on you're in like an old timey train looking thing. It's like you're going to the
little depot,
the Old West. So that whole thing is just really cool.
I kind of wish that Frontierland had more rides. That is a little disappointing.
They have Splash Mountain.
There was supposed to be another one.
Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and they have another one, don't they?
That's it.
I thought they had one. No,
Tom
that's
Sawyer technically is not part of that. But
that's one thing that we haven't done.
They need to redo that.
They are, aren't they?
They've talked about it, but not like serious plans. What's your next ride?
Well, I've done that's Flight of Passage, Living with the Land, Spaceship Earth, Big Thunder Mountain Road. So that's 4. Okay. You still have 2 more, don't you? So go to your next one.
No, I only have 1. No.
Oh, okay. My last one is Hall of Presidents.
At?
The Liberty Square area, Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
And again, it's I love anything that's got to do. I'm constantly looking up documentaries on presidents or people from that age and just listen, and like I'll put them on YouTube and then just work or something and listen to those in the background. So I'm constantly I love that whole thing. And then the waiting room is really cool because you can see some of the artifacts from old presidents and stuff like that. And then they have in the middle of the waiting room they have a seal, like a rug. It's not a rug, presidential seal, but it was actually in the White House and they brought it there and put it in there. So that's really cool.
If on the back they change those out, I think every once in a while. What's in those glass cabinets. But my favorite area was Barbara Bush's dress and stuff at the back because I did a lot of reading about Barbara Bush like after she passed away, and you could see the difference in styles from even when she was I almost said queen. What the heck am I talking about? The first lady. And it was like really 80s looking kind of, and then it was just really cool.
Yep. So that's my, and I mean, if you've ever been to Hall of Presidents, you know that when you go in there, they open up the curtains and you have a smaller screen, and then it goes for a little while, then it opens up the curtains more, and then you have a bigger screen, and then eventually it opens up the curtains all the way, and it's like a screen that goes almost all the way around your peripherals, and you see screen all the way. And the biggest thing is it shows a lot of like during the Depression and a lot of bad things that have happened in the United States, but these certain individuals and their I'm lost my train. No. They're not party, but oh my goodness, I've lost my train of thought.
And anyways, on there.
No. What do you call it whenever a president has his like vice president and all the people that work with him?
Cabinet?
Yes, you have these certain individuals in their cabinet that have come together to overcome these. And granted, right now, I mean, the United States is going through a pretty rough time. But if you look back at some of these other things like the Depression and all these other world wars and all that stuff, and you have these certain individuals that rise up to the occasion and bring America through it, just gives you a sense of pride. At least me, it gives me a sense of pride. It's like, you know what, we don't, we 9 times out of 10 we all kind of come together and help and move on from it. But anyway,
the star of the show is the what President Trump is 46th president, right?
47th, I think.
Okay, there are.
Let me look that up.
I think he's 46.
Keep talking. I think
there are 46 animatronics of the presidents.
Mm-hmm.
That is
the
most fascinating thing to see all at one time.
Yep.
I would love to do a backstage tour to where you got to go up there and look at them up close. I'm telling you guys, the Donald Trump one, it looks like he's standing up there.
44.
I thought it was 46. Where did I get that from? Why did I see that? I saw that somewhere. Anyways.
Oh, he's the 45th president, so we were both wrong.
Okay. Somebody said that he's going to be the 46th. That doesn't make any sense. So.
Yeah, that's
But his hand movements, his mouth.
Oh, everybody knows the little finger and hand movements that Donald Trump has that everybody made fun of him for whenever he was.
They got that down to it.
They got that all perfect. They got his hair done perfect. And then all the other thing is when in each animatronic introduces itself. So at the very end, it goes through and the narrator says the president's name. They shine a light on that president, and then that president will move, like wave or nod their head or so, and that's just crazy.
And all of the ones who they could have recorded have a speaking part, like. That they had recording devices. They mostly do.
Well, no, when Obama was president, he was in Donald Trump's position. He was. Remember when we first went
for a few months.
When we first went, and we watched, it was Obama's thing. It wasn't Trump.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
In 2018.
No, that was 16. When did we go?
18.
I went somewhere. I went sometime when I saw Obama's.
When you were a kid, it would have been Obama.
Yeah.
In 2008.
Yeah. That's when it was.
It would have been Obama.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's when I went in 2008.
When?
In January.
Okay. Well, anyway, go ahead and do your last one.
My last one is.
Hang on, wait. Before let me clarify the reasons why I chose these. She said at the beginning of the podcast that we wanted to choose a variety. We didn't want to choose just thrill rides or just dark rides, and to me. These 5 rides that I chose is kind of everything. You got Flight of Passage, which is all your senses just get bombarded in that. And then you have the roller coaster with Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. And then you have Living with the Land, which is relaxing. You get to go and you're still moving. And Spaceship Earth, which then again, I kind of look at these now. And Living with the Land, Spaceship Earth, and Hall of Presidents, they're all kind of like educational rides.
I think that really shows more about our characters as individuals, though, because his were more slower, relaxing, enjoyable ones, and I was like, my favorites are the ones where my heart's coming out of my chest. My last one is Tower of Terror, and
you're on your own with that one.
Okay, I did this one on my own because Zachary would not ride it with me.
No human being should have to go through that physical torment.
So how I got to ride on this was when we went in January. His sister Mandy gracefully stayed with me. We had a great time.
I was gone. Where did I go?
You went to sleep. That's what you went.
Oh yeah, that was a good time.
We stayed and I got fast passes for Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, and we waited in line for Slinky Dog for 20 minutes. And then we rode Toy Story Mania in like less than an hour and a half. It was the most fun night of my life.
That was like when we went, it was our honeymoon. We went one morning, was so tired, and then we turned around and went back later that evening and rode 3 or 4 rides all in like an hour.
But I like
Now, granted, that was luck.
Before everything went.
That was also luck, though, more so than.
Yeah. Just ours was luck, too.
Yeah.
Because there was actually there was no after hours or anything that day.
Mm-mm.
Tower of Terror is really cool because Walt Disney World is the only one that has it in the way that it is right now. Because Disneyland's is different now. It's Cosmic Rewind. I still want to ride that. It looks freaking cool. I love Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's essentially the same. It is the same thing. It's just reskinned.
I watched a POV of it, and it's a little different in the things that it does, but it's really cool. You should watch that. I love walking into the lobby of Tower of Terror, and there's cobwebs everywhere, and everything's old and antique, and it smelled like a bed and breakfast in Mobile. Like, that's the first thing I thought of.
What?
I went to a bed and breakfast in Mobile before for a dance competition, and it smelled the exact same way, and it was really cool. But I wrote it with some people.
That's how I know me and you are literally the same individual, because I'm the only other person that I know of that could compare a smell to something so specific as a bed and breakfast in Mobile that I stayed at one time.
I stayed there a couple times when I was a kid, but it just smells like an antique
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just think it's awesome.
And then, so you go, I don't even remember how it all worked. I did so much in that
You got
in
in a little cart at some point, and that
Yeah.
drives you around in
Yes.
the thing, doesn't it?
But you have to get to when you get done waiting in line, they take you up. You go down to the basement. That's where you go. And then that takes you to the service elevator, and that's what you get in. But I was in there with a bunch of people I didn't know, and we were all talking about how we had never done, most of them had never rode it before that were in there. And I had my ears on, and I was like, the guy beside me was like, you better take those off, they're probably going to, fly off. And I said, okay. And I put my bag around
I can.
my leg.
My anxiety is already peaking
And
right now.
it's
Just
a
from that
lounge fly
comment.
backpack, so it's pretty small, but it had a few things in there. So I had it around my leg, and I was like, okay, this will be fine. It's not going anywhere. No, I didn't put it around my leg at first. That was my first mistake. So when you fall, my bag starts going right in front of my face.
No, let's back
traveled
up.
up
Let's
to
back
my
up here.
face.
The actual ride to the Haunted Mansion is
No.
you go up
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror. I mean, you go up, and then it opens up this thing, and you can see out, and you're super high, and
And
then
you
it
look at
just
the sea.
drops you straight down, and then it takes you back up, and then it drops you
My
straight
bag
back down.
would just go
It just
gravitate up to my
levitated
face.
up in front of her face.
So then I had to stick my leg through the hole, and I was worried about that. But then I finally got it fixed, and I was putting my hands up, and I was having the time of my life. And I was like, this is amazing. Zachary's missing out.
No,
Where's
I
my
wasn't
heart?
missing
It
out.
is not in my chest right now. It was really exhilarating.
That was not.
I really liked it. I think I liked it mostly because the people that I was in there with, nobody screamed. They were just like laughing and having a good time.
See, that's me. I don't scream.
They were
I
just like,
enjoy I enjoy roller coasters, but I don't scream on them.
I may have said
I will
like, one
laugh
not
like
nice
crazy.
thing, but other than that, I was okay. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And the guy who was beside me, he was holding on to the little thing, so I felt bad like trying to hold him because I was like touching his hand. I was like, dude, I'm sorry, you gotta move. I gotta hold on to this.
He was holding his hand. You
Yeah.
might as well just held his hand.
I was like coming behind him, like trying to grab the very edge so I didn't like be a creep or something.
Okay, so in reasoning why this is going to take literally another hour if we go through each individual honorable mention. So I'm just going to roll through them, and then if you want to talk any about mine,
Okay.
we'll talk about mine, and then we'll do yours.
I didn't write mine down, so I'm gonna have to come up with them off the jump. But let's go.
Okay. Everest, I said
Yep,
that was
love
one of
Everest.
mine. Yep. Carousel of Progress, which is one of my honorable
That
mentions.
was one I really thought about putting on there.
The only one that I probably would have took off to put Carousel of Progress would either have been Hall of Presidents or Living with the Land. It'd have been one of those two. But it's like I was telling her last night. That's the thing with these honorable mentions. I could take any of these off and replace it. Like I could take Flight of Passage off and replace it with.
You love Flight of Passage.
I could replace Flight of Passage with either Everest or the Kilimanjaro Safari.
I didn't put that one down because I was like, is this really a ride or what?
Yeah, it's a ride.
Okay.
Everything there is a ride.
I love Kilimanjaro Safaris.
Yeah.
That was that would have been number 6.
Yeah. Carousel of Progress. Okay, so Everest, Carousel of Progress, People Mover, which I love People Mover.
Oh, we rode that a bunch.
Kilimanjaro Safari, which is really awesome. It just goes out into the their animal kingdoms like zoo part that they have, and they drive you around. You can see elephants and different types of animals and stuff. It's really fun. And then the last one on my honorable mention is the Toy Story Mania.
Okay, that was a good one.
Because I am undefeated at Toy Story Mania. Nobody has beat me.
When I came in, that score wasn't higher than yours?
It was, but did you play me to get that score?
Okay, that was the best score I've ever done, and I literally could not move my arm the next day. I was working so hard.
Me and her have rode it a couple of times. I beat her every time.
We've rode it every time.
And what's so crazy, just toot my own horn here, but what's so crazy is 9 times out of 10, she has me beat up until like the last one or two games. Okay, I keep acting like people don't know what this is. The Toy Story Mania.
It's a bunch of screens with you ride in a car, and then
like I was gonna try to explain it.
There's ASMR. There's a bunch of screens that you kind of rotate in and out of, and they have different games on them. Like you gotta pull this little lever, and it shoots.
Okay,
like
you're
ball.
doing a horrible job of explaining this. You ride in this little cart. You ride in this little cart, and you have another person that's sitting beside you, and you're playing against that person.
And the person behind
and you have a little, and you technically it's a whole cart, but I'm more focused on the person that's right beside me.
Okay.
And you have a gun that's right in front of you. Well, it's not a gun. You're at Disney World. It's like a
blaster.
Your blaster. There you go. And it has this little ball with the string on it. And you take the little string and you get in front of a screen and it has a game on it. And it's either you're shooting little balls through hoops or maybe you're shooting plates or breaking or, there was a one...
Balloons.
Yeah, balloons.
Rings around the little aliens.
Rings around the aliens, yeah. And every time you pull that string, it launches whatever that is that you're shooting. And then let's say you're breaking plates, on the plates they'll have a score. So it'll be 100 to like 1,000. And so every time you break a plate or you whatever it is the game is that you're playing, your score goes up.
If you shoot the moving ones, here's a little tip, insider tip here. If you shoot something that's moving or high up in the air, it's going to be worth a lot of points.
Yep. So a lot of people say don't go crazy, like just pulling the string, like just aim for the higher ones and then that's it.
Then you're not so tired, so at the end you can go ham and get like 100,000 points.
That's I'm not going to say that's what I do because I'm not a little pansy. I go ham the whole way through, even at the end.
Also hard. Also hard.
Yeah. But my brother-in-law, when I played him, I did the same exact thing. He had me beat by like 30,000 points. And on the very last two, I walked out of there with my right arm 100% numb. 100% numb.
I like Toy Story Mania. Mandy and I wrote it together that night. We had our little rendezvous at Hollywood Studios. Mm-hmm. And that night, we also rode one of my honorable mentions.
Okay. What are your honorable mentions?
Slinky Dog Dash.
Okay.
Because
I'm kind of surprised that's not in your top 5.
I wanted it to be, but I felt I can't just have all roller coasters in there. Okay. And I think why I didn't put it in there was I want to ride it with you because you're my roller coaster buddy. Okay. Because I felt I needed to take care of Mandy.
Okay. Well, yeah. My sister, she doesn't really...
She was so scared. I felt so bad. But then it was a lot of fun having her there with me. So.
Yeah, she doesn't like roller coasters too much. And I'm actually proud of her for riding that roller coaster.
I made her. I was like, all right.
And it was at night, too. It wasn't even like it was during the day. So that...
It was cold.
Yeah, and that makes it a little bit worse, honestly.
I was really proud of her. But she had a good time, I think.
Maybe.
Deep down.
Maybe.
In her heart.
Okay, what's your next honorable mention?
But really, I like that because I love Toy Story, and that was like my number one movie. as a kid.
Toy Story was I
love that area.
My thing. I had Woody and Buzz all the time.
Yep, I had a little Woody that I took with me. His leg had to be sewed back on many times.
Okay, your next honorable mention.
Haunted Mansion.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that one.
It didn't would be my top 5 because most of mine I'm always gonna like thrill rides a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But I love Haunted Mansion. It's historically one of the most amazing rides at all of Disney because I really think it's really cool. We've watched the Imagineering story and they really talked about how they put it together. Oh yeah, and all the work that went into it. And Leota Toombs, you should look that up. That's a really cool story about her. And I love it.
Or just if you have Disney Plus, just watch the Imagineering story.
That's really cool. And another honorable mention would probably be, oddly enough, I love It's a Small World. I think it's so cute.
Okay, yeah.
But
It's a Small World is good. Like it's nostalgic and everything, but
is better.
Yeah, the way you describe it, it does seem a lot better.
It has little Disney characters throughout, and I really liked that one. It was cute. I enjoyed that one. Another honorable mention would probably be... I feel like we don't give Animal Kingdom that much love when it comes to rides because it doesn't have...
Other than Everest and Kilimanjaro, it's got
It's got this Cali River Rapids.
And it's got Flight of Passage. So technically we give Animal Kingdom plenty of...
It doesn't have as many rides as it should, personally. I don't think it does.
It's just massive. It's so big. It is the biggest park at Disney World.
With fewest rides, oddly enough. I feel the same way about Epcot right now because it's just in shambles, honestly. With all the construction.
Well, they're redoing a lot of it.
I know.
Give it about 5 years now.
I'm going to love the new Galaxy's Edge roller coaster.
The Tron ride is going to be fun.
Oh, yes. I'm excited for that.
I'll ride the Tron ride.
Can you imagine the wait times for that? Oh, my gosh. It's already 5 hours and it's not even built yet.
That was a good joke. I will say one of our honorable mentions as like a couple would be Test Track.
We've tried riding it 3 times, and then the 4th time it was closed because it was
now the 3rd time was the most interesting, and it's story time now. So let me tell you a story. We got
first. Let me preface this by saying I was hungry. Okay. Continue. Thank you.
I actually even wasn't gonna. That wasn't even a part of the story.
I was hangry at that time too.
That wasn't part of the story though.
And we got there later than I wanted to.
We drove down there, and when we drove down there, that was the part that we went to because we had a fast pass. It was a weekend that it was 2 days. I think we were staying down there.
We went to the water park.
And we drove down there, and we had a fast pass for Test Track at a certain time.
5:30.
And I checked the weather prior to us going down there, and I saw where it was a chance of thunderstorms, and I'm thinking, oh crap. Well, as we were driving down there, I kept looking at the radar, and
we had to stop for a swimsuit, so we were already a little behind.
And it rained. It was storming when we stopped for the swimsuit, and it was storming. We drove through some rain, but I kept looking at the radar, and I'm thinking, yep, right when we get down there, it's going to be right on top of us. And believe it or not,
sure enough.
As soon as we got there, we were walking the Test Track. I saw the lightning all around us, and I'm thinking, I was trying to tell them, like, there's no point in going over here because they're about to shut that down.
We walked right up to it, and they started pulling that rope.
Yeah, we walked up to it, and it genuinely, this is not just for, make the story better. Genuinely, we were maybe 15 feet away,
and they started
pulled the rope out, and we were like, and we just turned.
They were like, "Can we at least wait inside?" The people that were trying to also get in front of us, and they were like, "No, we're sorry, it's weather delay."
They said they were going to reopen it, and they never did.
They never did the whole night. It was closed.
But straight up, it was lightning like crazy around us, and I tried my hardest to tell her, let's get under some type of structure so we're not out in the middle of the park when it's lightning. And we finally got under, it was Epcot, not Hollywood Studios. Anyway, it was Epcot. We got under and went into the paint part, and we were in there. That was super fun.
That was probably my best time I'd had at Epcot was that evening. Because we did things that we hadn't done before. Other than
that paint room was really awesome because you go into like this room that's a cylinder, and it's like 20, 30 foot tall.
It's sponsored by what paint company? Is it BPG?
I don't know.
Why do I always assume everything's BPG?
You go into this room with this cylinder. It's the cylinder room, shaped room, and it's about 30 foot tall, and the walls are white. And this guy comes over and he talks about color, and every time he talks about color, it changes color, and it could be the whole room could be blue, or the whole room could be green, or whatever. And it's really neat. It really messes with your eyes though when like everything around you is green, or everything around you is purple or red or whatever. It's really weird.
I'm pulling up a list to see if I missed anything. Okay. You know what? Another honorable mention that probably would have been on my top 5 if it was open. The railroad.
The railroad?
Yeah. Remember when we went in 2018 and we rode the railroad around the park?
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
That's another. That would have been an honorable mention too.
Yep.
But there's nothing to it. It's literally just a train,
Riding around, but
and you
it's
can
cool.
ride it to
it's actually
other
faster.
parts.
You can walk to the train station and ride the train station to like Main Street, and then get off and leave. You don't have to walk all the way back.
Yeah,
that's
but
really
it was
cool.
closed because of they were doing construction or something around that area.
Let's see if I have any more.
But I wouldn't say another honorable mention, but definitely another one that's super fun is the Barnstormer. It's super quick.
I did not expect you to say that.
It's super. Well, I just thought about the train goes right beside it, and I was thinking about it.
How about the chairlift at Blizzard Beach? Would you put that in your honorable mention? Because that would be in mine too. How many of you have ever seen a chairlift at a water park? Okay. I don't think.
No, it was a ski lift. How many ski lifts have you seen?
It's called a chairlift on here. That's why I said that. Sorry. That thing is cool.
It is really awesome, and it's kind of, it's one of the. It's
kind of sketchy too.
Yeah, it's the only thing in a Disney park that it's like, wait, this doesn't kind of feel safe. Like it's got a little bar.
And she's like, get on, hurry up.
Yeah,
go.
And then
Sir, hurry up.
It's a little bar that sits in front of you, and it comes down and doesn't even come all the way down to your waist, and then you go up pretty high.
You go to the top of the mountain.
Mm-hmm. Now that's pretty. Some of the rides up there are really fun.
I really liked that.
Yeah.
What about Country Bear Jamboree? He said
that was okay.
Freaking lame.
Now
I remember that as a kid. So
now the Mickey Mouse Orchestra. What is that one called?
Philharmonic.
Yeah,
I did that when I was a kid.
That one's really cool. I'm not a super big fan of 3D stuff.
There won't
it
be
makes
any
me
3D
kind of
anymore, probably.
Cross-eyed at acting. It's weird, but I mean it's really cool. So,
what is your least favorite ride that you've ever rode, if you have one?
Probably It's a Small World.
Wow.
I'm just not a big fan of it.
Wow, guys, did you hear that?
I'm just not a big fan of it. Now, two other rides that I love that didn't make it to my honorable mention.
You know what?
Or my top 5 would be Peter Pan and the Winnie the Pooh.
I kind of made up.
Now, the Winnie the Pooh ride is nostalgic for me because I loved Winnie the Pooh growing up, and Peter Pan was the same way, and that's the reason why. The Peter Pan ride is super quick, but the thing that I love about it is when you get on the little boat, you ride out, and it's like, okay, you're in Wendy and them's bedroom, and then you ride out of the window, and then you're out over London, and then as you kind of wind over London, it's like you slowly start to see the little London scene get smaller and smaller and smaller, and it gives you the idea that you're getting higher and higher and higher, and it's just so cool.
I think one that was kind of disappointing to me was I'd finally watched all of the Star Wars movies before we went to Galaxy's Edge for the first time. What?
I was just going to say the only reason why you're about to say this is because of the people that we were riding the ride with.
No.
It was.
Okay, I want to take Keith and...
Which is my brother-in-law.
Yes, I want to take Keith, me, Zach. How many people were in there?
You got 2, 4, 6.
Has Amy seen them?
Yeah.
Star Wars movies? Okay, we'll invite her too. And then...
Why not just get somebody to watch the girls and have me, you, Mom, Mandy, Amy, and Keith?
We need all of them in there because I know that they know how to follow directions. That's all that.
Okay, so in that ride you have
Smuggler's Run, by the way.
You have 6 different positions, and each position has to do a certain task when the narrator says for you to do the certain task.
So it makes
and if you don't do the certain task when the person says it, they start screaming at you, and the ride is a lot different than if you were to do the task when you're supposed to.
So I'm all for everyone going to Disney.
You're also riding the Millennium Falcon.
Young or small, whoever wants to go to Disney, you do that. It's your life. That's awesome. But
God, that was the fakest thing I've ever heard
if
you say in my
you're
life.
going to ride a ride and not follow the directions, don't ride with me.
Well, there are some rides, though, that if you don't follow the directions, it's fine. But that one actually has consequences. It's a totally different ride.
All we had to do was press buttons. Like, we didn't have really important roles in the ride. But the dang pilot wasn't even doing anything. She was just sitting there looking. She never once moved her little pilot gear stick thing.
Yeah, they were
laughing and just
go on that ride with the intention of listening and doing what you're supposed to do, and you'll have a lot different of a ride than we did.
The Millennium Falcon was cool though.
Now, granted, it's super awesome getting to ride in the Millennium Falcon, and you get to go the speed of light or whatever, where everything's going by them, supersonic speed or hyperspeed or whatever it's called. I can't think of it right now. And it's really awesome, but like I said, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, it's a different ride.
The queue for that ride was okay. It wasn't the best.
Why do you think queue? Are you from the UK?
The queue is what they call it when you wait. But one thing that was kind of aggravating is when you finally get to the part where you're about to go on the ride, that is mass confusion. Everybody's screaming and yelling colors.
Totally forgot about that.
Are you the pilot?
Yep.
Are you the pilot?
Yep.
Blue team?
Yep.
Brown? And they just keep yelling that, and that was like,
to give context to what she's saying, they give you a card, and it's a color.
But then they ask you who's on your team after you've gotten your card randomly.
No, it's on the card. It's on the card.
I know, but then they start calling the colors, but it's not the same people that you walked in with, so I didn't understand that. Why are they making it so difficult? You see what I'm saying?
No, I think you're confused. They give you a card, so you're purple. There's only 2 purple and 2 green and 2 brown and 2 orange and 2 white and 2 whatever in that little room. It's not like they give 7 people the purple card.
There was a lot of extra people in there though.
Yeah, but there's a lot of colors. There's a lot of different. There's more little capsules to each thing. Yeah, what it is they give you a card, a color of a card, and then you go into this like waiting room type thing, and then whenever it's your turn, they call out the colors. And if you hold a brown card, if they come in there and say, hey, the brown cards, so you go up there, you give your card, and then they give you a position. So you're a pilot, or you're a gunner, or you're this, or you're that. And me and Melea just happened to be sitting at the very back of the Millennium Falcon. So it wasn't a bummer because you still got to see everything, and everything was really super fun.
And I was surprised we got on it in less than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
On a Sunday.
I would just recommend if you're going with the group.
Go with your friends.
Yes, try to go on that ride with 6 other people that you know and understand that you have to do. You don't have to do what they say on the thing. That's the thing.
You'll get home, but it won't be like
it'll be different. It'll be and that's a really cool thing. That'll be totally. You could ride that ride one time and experience something totally different than when you rode it again.
I really want to be the pilot. One ride that I think people would be surprised because of the rides that I like that I didn't put Rock and Roller Coaster in there. I think Rock and Roller Coaster is kind of, how do I say this, outdated to me. Like I feel like they could pick a different
But I think they need to just get rid of Rock and Roller Coaster.
It needs to be something different. Like make it, here's an idea I seen on the pass holder group. Here I'm pitching this idea, Disney. I hope you're listening. Get this, picture this. Emperor's New Groove.
Okay. Well, I appreciate y'all listening to the podcast. Nobody cares about Emperor's New Groove.
Listen.
That's probably like the most popular.
That movie. Listen.
That's like the most popular Disney movie of all time.
My idea.
It's a great movie. I love Emperor's New Groove.
Easemus.
But is there anything?
Roller coaster. Where you know where it says pull the lever, Kronk. Not that lever. And then she pulls it, and they go down on the little cart.
That would actually be a really
Inc.
cool. That would actually be.
With that.
That would actually be a really cool water park ride that you got in. It's like pull the lever and it opened up and you went when you were going through all the tunnels and everything.
That's a good suggestion. But
that's a better
suggestion. Or Monsters Inc. roller coaster.
What about if they just did a hyperspeed Cars ride? Where they kept the whole Cars thing.
And they advertise Cars in that area, so it kind of makes sense.
It's Cars right outside of it. If you're going to listen to anybody Disney, listen to me.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm obviously...
They have Cars at Disneyland. That's why they won't do it here at Walt Disney World.
Do they? What do they have at Disneyland?
Are you kidding me? Are you guys?
Oh, well, I'm not lucky.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not lucky enough.
To DCA.
I'm not lucky enough to have been to California and to have been to Disneyland.
I earned that. Thank you. I got first place in a national championship. So
okay, that's why we were talking about those. So.
Disneyland is all I went to. I didn't go to DCA, so I didn't see
What is DCA?
Y'all, throw the whole husband away.
Burn it all.
So there's Disneyland, which is kind of like Magic Kingdom, and then there's DCA or Disney California Adventure, which they talked
Oh
about
yeah.
in the
I know, but
Imagineering
you have to
story.
say the whole
Oh
thing.
my gosh.
You can't say
You're
like
not
these,
a aficionado.
like these,
You don't call it
these
DCA.
these codes that you're speaking in 774325.
There's a whole Cars Land at DCA.
I didn't know that.
There's a whole Imagineering story episode.
I don't live in California. I haven't watched all of it.
I live vicariously through Instagrammers in California.
I don't live in California.
Disney Food
I'm
Blog has
focusing
DCA
on
videos.
Yeah, but I don't
Jen
watch
and
all
Tim
hers.
have DCA videos.
I don't watch all their videos. That's you. I don't watch their videos.
I haven't been able to watch a lot of Disney videos since this
I was about to say,
happened. It makes me sad.
occasionally you show me a couple videos, but you've never showed me any videos on
Okay, so
cars.
Jim and Tim Tracker have a good DCA video where they went at Halloween in Cars Land, and they call it
I would love to go to Halloween.
What is the name of that? I've got to look
And
that up.
I would love to actually go to Halloween at Disney World. We went during Christmas, and the decorations and everything is really awesome. So I would love to go there when it was Halloween decorations.
So the DCA party is called. What is the name of it? They have a party.
Really? Well,
That's just gonna make me mad.
okay. Well, we can't.
Here it is.
Okay,
Halloween.
Hall.
Halloween.
Oh, okay. Halloween.
It's so
Okay.
cute, and all of the decorations are car parts.
That's
Like the
pretty awesome.
spiders and the ghosts and
They're made out of car parts.
And all the cars have Halloween costumes too.
I know there's the cars part of the hotels or the resorts that we stayed at.
Yeah,
We didn't walk all the way over there.
I
but
wanted to
it was
take
really
pictures
cool.
there.
Yep. Now the Little Mermaid. This is getting off a topic here, but the Little Mermaid one was really awesome. It has a huge Ursula and a huge.
I think theming wise, and Art of Animation has the best theming that I've seen of any resort.
I agree. It's really nice. But we could do that one we could do that in another.
I want to say animal.
Video.
Okay, never mind. Okay,
What?
I won't get into that then. We're saving it for another video.
I was about to say that could be a whole nother thing talking about the resorts and everything. What resorts we want to stay at.
All right. Well, I think that's all that I have for this episode of the Unnamed Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for listening in, guys, and hopefully we'll get to go back soon.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll make another podcast more frequently. Like it's going up on our YouTube channel, and we've been making a few more YouTube videos here lately. So hopefully we can add a couple podcasts to it because I feel like
and share our videos.
Oh my gosh!
Press the subscribe button in the corner. Make sure you turn on the notification bell. And make sure you get all those alerts. Ding! You gotta add that click sound.
Have we gotten to that point?
We watched this cowboy today. I'm gonna add this before we go.
Okay.
We watched this.
I would actually love to do podcasts where we just talk and we don't have to talk about Disney. Like we just talk about stuff that we've seen and stuff that we like.
So this one.
Because some of our conversations are genuinely hilarious.
So we've been watching a lot of food videos because we've been cooking a lot more and yada yada. Mm. And Zach somehow ventured into this like cowboy guy.
No. Okay, let me.
You knew him before?
Give me 5 minutes to tell the backstory to this.
5 minutes.
I know it's difficult for you, but give me 5 minutes. One night during this quarantine, I couldn't sleep, so I was watching random YouTube videos, and somehow I found. Oh. No, listen. Somehow I found this guy that he makes recipes from the 17 and 1800s from cookbooks, and he cooks them in the same fashion and way that they would have back then. And I watched a few of his videos and I thought they were really interesting. Well, one of that cowboy's videos was in the suggested videos of those. So I've never watched his, but I've watched other videos that would lead me to be watching his.
This is how I knew I would like that guy, because he starts off the video with like the most southern accent, and
it would be a western, wouldn't it? Midwestern.
He had this fat hamburger, like
it was
probably 5 pound hamburger.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far, but it was done. The point of the video was he was taking a Big Mac from McDonald's, and then he was making his version of the Big Mac. He was trying to make the Big Mac that much better by making the bread, making the meat, making the sauce, and all of that.
And I think did he make the cheese? That would have been cool.
But pretty neat. But we didn't watch the whole video. We just basically watched the first probably 2.5-3 minutes of it.
Where was I going with this?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, I remember now. So that guy, like, probably a late 50s, early 60s
Yeah, I was definitely
aged
say he's in
man.
his 60s.
And he starts doing that. Make sure to click like and
Oh, yeah.
subscribe in the top
Yeah.
right corner. And it
Yeah.
has that little ding sound that
Yeah.
everybody does. Make sure you turn on your notification bell to get all alerts about my new videos. I'm like, even this guy has gotten roped into this.
But that's not rope. That's awesome though. Good for him.
You can hear his wife laughing
Good for him.
at one point in the video.
You know what?
They ordered chicken nuggets for their dog.
At some point in this podcast and this YouTube channel, regardless if anything happens and we get any popularity, regardless if we just do it just for the fun of doing it, there's one thing that I want to talk about. I had a teacher in high school. This was 10th grade, so it was 2010. So it was
He's old.
10 years ago.
Wow, he's old.
I had a teacher in high school that hated YouTube. He did not understand it. He didn't understand it. He didn't get it. It was ridiculous for people to be wasting their time on YouTube. And now I want to go back to that guy and be like, that was ridiculous, wasn't it? All this hating YouTube, it's ridiculous. Why you get on there and you watch people play games?
Oh my gosh, it's the biggest phenomenon.
And I'm like, these people that are getting on here playing these games are making millions of dollars. Look at PewDiePie. How many millions of dollars has that man made? Is his name Mr. Beast? How many millions of dollars has he made?
Rhett and Link.
Rhett and Link. How many millions of dollars have they made?
Logan
Logan brothers.
Yeah.
How many millions of dollars have they made?
Marbles.
How many millions has she made? That's crazy. And I'm not saying that we're doing this to make millions of dollars. I'm just doing this for the fun of it. But I'm just saying I want to get that out there because that's bothered me for 10 years now. We just whispered his name. I hope everybody heard it. It was Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones was my geometry teacher in high school, and I did not like Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones did not like me either. He's not going to listen to this, and if he does, I don't care. I did not have contacts, which was my fault, in his class, and I could not see the board. So I learned geometry. Look me in my face and tell me I'm not smart, because I learned geometry blind.
Did you pass the ESC? Did you have to pass a test back then? I don't think you did. He's too old.
No.
He wouldn't have.
I listened to geometry.
He didn't have all that standardized testing pushed down his throat.
FCAT? Hello?
Yes, but that wasn't nearly as bad as what they got
Oh,
now.
I ain't worried about that. But I learned geometry blind just by listening. You got to give me some props for that.
I thought he was a good geometry teacher.
I'm not saying he was a bad teacher. He was good at teaching geometry.
I have to thank him because he helped me find one of my favorite songs of all time. Pass Slowly
song.
by Seether.
That's a great song.
One of my favorite songs of all time, and he played it in his class. That's how I heard it. Now I really like Seether, so that was around when I was really into alternative music too. So
I wouldn't classify Seether as alternate.
Like rock.
Yeah, but that would be two different genres.
Alternative and rock to me.
Whoa.
Really well.
Okay. That's why you're screamo bands.
Yeah. That's both. It's alternative and then
alternative rock.
Because you hear them sing, at the beginning, it's really soft, like ballad, and then they start screaming.
Yeah, so it'd be alternative rock.
I like alternative rock.
Okay, it wouldn't be rock.
I do like rock.
The best rock music though is early 2000s. Like I don't know why people hate on Nickelback so much.
I
love Nickelback.
Or Daltrey?
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 Or Daughtry. I knew you were going to say that. Me and Katie used to sit and listen to Nickelback and Daughtry.
I had a Daughtry CD.
She did too.
Yeah. We probably had the same one. Was it green?
Yes.
Yeah, same one. I think that's the only one they ever had. And then you got...
That was good.
And then you had Three Doors Down, which was amazing.
I still love
to me, you can't live in the South, say you like rock, and not like Three Doors Down.
People in the South like rock music?
Leonard Skinner. I mean, Jesus Christ.
It was a joke. People think we have no music taste. They think we just listen to...
Are you talking about
country.
Like millennials?
For some reason, people think anybody in the South, they automatically have no taste in anything.
It's actually crazy. Over the past couple of years, I've noticed that country music, and I'm not talking about the country music that's coming on
like bro
radio.
pop?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that is getting countrywide.
Yeah.
But I'm more so talking about like your Merle Haggard, your Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I was having a brain fart right then. It sounded like his name.
I have a shirt.
That was weird. Yeah, and then like Johnny Cash.
Yep.
And
made a resurgence.
Yeah, like the people have started liking them all over.
People like Hot Country Nights, and what's that other band that you really like?
Hot Country Nights. They're good. They're like 90s country.
That's what I'm saying. Like that era is kind of coming back
No, to me 90s. There's no.
It's like a mix. It's either all pop, bro country, or
there's no other country music besides 90s country. You got George Strait, Brooks and Dunn, Garth Brooks, Tim McGraw, Blake Shelton, Alan Jackson.
Oh,
I mean
Trace Adkins.
Trace Adkins.
What is that?
Diamond Rio. Yeah. I mean, if we're going that far, we might as well say
I remember listening to all of that in my dad's green F-150, driving around. That's all that we would listen to.
We had a blue
GMC
Sonoma. Huh?
That and Mercy Me. That was what we listened to. Reba McEntire. There you
go. Shania Twain.
Trisha Yearwood.
There you go. And that's 90s. I mean, this is the best country music out there. There should be no other. That's country music, in my opinion.
So what is this now? Pop country?
Mm-hmm.
I
still
like
have
pop country,
one of my favorite new country bands is Midland. Mm-hmm. I love Midland. They're to me they're terrific. They're a great country music band.
What's his name that you really like? It's got the beard, and his tickets were like $500 for us to get, so we didn't go.
Chris Stapleton?
Yes.
Chris Stapleton's very good. There's another guy. There's a few other people. Let me look on my Spotify. Since we're going to go ahead and talk about this, that I'm a big fan of. Cody Jinks is a super talented country music singer. I haven't listened to much of his stuff. And then there is a couple other ones.
Trace Adkins actually has a really good new song.
Yeah. And to me, this is more so like the pop country, but there's been a bunch of, what's his name? Morgan Wallen.
Ooh.
That I've really, he's been pretty good.
What about Luke Combs? What do you think about him? I like Luke Combs.
I'm not sitting here saying that I don't like that new country music that's coming out. I do like Florida Georgia Line and Luke Combs and Cody Johnson. That's his name, ain't it? That's yeah. That dude, really good.
Okay, while we're mentioning that, some of my favorites are Casey Musgraves, hands down. Mm-hmm. Love Casey Musgraves.
We also got Randy Travis. I forgot about him too, but he's like, further back in the 90s as well.
Luke Combs, we already said that.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Morris
Sturgill
is really
Simpson's
good.
very good too.
I'm not a big Kane Brown fan.
Really?
I have some of his songs, but
and
Dan and Shay, I do like them, but I feel like all their songs sound the same. They're all very lovey.
I guess, but Dan and Shay, they write the perfect wedding songs.
Yeah,
they write the perfect wedding songs. To me, if you're gonna have a good wedding song.
What do you think about Sam Hunt? You told me to turn his song off earlier.
Well, my thing with Sam Hunt.
He has a beautiful singing voice, but he wastes it by talking.
That's what I'm saying. My thing is, I don't like how when Sam Hunt does a lot of his talking in his songs.
And it all has the same rhythm. Have you noticed that? Like when he's doing the talking, it has the same rhythm.
Another really good band, if you've not heard and you like country music, is Flatland Cavalry. If you like country music and you enjoy, if you enjoy like a little bit older style, those people are the band is very, very good. So
Chris Young is one of my favorites too.
Chris Young, yeah, he's very good too. But if I had to choose, like if somebody came up to me and said, listen to country music, 90s country would be what I turned on. I wouldn't turn on today's country music.
Mine would be Casey Musgraves.
I love Casey Musgraves. She's great.
I love her messages in her songs.
I've often told you that I like female country music artists out right now more than I do the male artists. They're really, really good. They make really, really good songs.
There's too many of them. That's the problem. It's oversaturated.
Female?
No.
Male. Yes. Yeah, I agree. That's so easy.
But I feel like there's a lot more balance in pop music. Of girl to guy, maybe even more girl. I don't know.
There's in my opinion, there's a pretty good bit of girl that pop country between pop music right now.
Think about.
No, I mean it's not crazy if they're good and they're amazing what they do.
It's crazy how country has got more of a male presence of singers.
Well, then that's how a lot of people look at the South, though.
You know what? That's a really good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But
alternative rock's the same way. It's all dudes. Mm-hmm. There's like a few girls.
Then you got the one legend, Evanescence.
No, the legend is Paramore.
Okay,
Williams.
I agree. I thought you were about to say, I agree with that, but I thought you were about to say Avril Lavigne, and I was going to suplex you.
Don't talk about Avril Lavigne like that. Haley Williams, if you're listening to this, please invite me to hang out with you.
That would make,
I love you so much.
Make your life.
I'm crying just thinking about
Oh
it.
my gosh. Do you follow her on Instagram?
Yeah, I follow
She's
her
been posting a lot of music stuff
on
lately.
Twitter, and I was like, that was the first account I followed on Twitter. I'm not even joking with you.
Really?
Was
Paramours
Yeah
or
Williams.
oh yeah. That's her Instagram name too, ain't it? Yeah. So, oh yeah, we could do a complete whole nother podcast about
Movies too.
about music.
We could never do a TV show one because Zach doesn't listen to any of the same TVs that I listen to. So I don't watch TV shows that I watch.
Okay, I was about to say what?
I'm kind of getting tired.
Okay. It's 11 o'clock right now. I could do TV show podcasts on the TV shows that I watch. I've got like 5 TV shows that I watch.
See, that's your problem. I watch a lot.
I can name them right now.
Do it. Not right now. To be continued.
I can name them right now. I ain't gotta go into it.
All right. 1 hour later.
Hoopla! No, I really like.
People order our patty.
What is it? Filipino tilt-a-whirl operators are this nation's backbone.
You can't do World Pharaoh like I can.
You didn't do it either. Very good. Come on, go ahead. Let me look at you. I'm looking right at you because I want you to be embarrassed.
Filipino tilt-a-whirl operators are this nation's backbone.
Okay. If you look at me in my face and tell me that was not Donald Trump.
That's who they're pretending to be.
No, baby.
Yes, they are.
That movie was years before Donald.
That's
No.
who his influence
He was like
it
a
had
Southern.
To be. He
it was
did
like
his hand like that.
No, that was Donald
Will
J.
Ferrell,
Trump. I
answer
feel
this
like
question,
I
please.
feel like
Call
the
me.
president.
Let me know.
I feel like the president of the United States was just in this room telling me that Filipino tilt-a-whirl operators were this nation's backbones.
By the way, we're talking about what is the name of that movie?
The Candidate?
No, is that it?
I think it is. Was Zach Galifianakis?
Zach Galifianakis and Will Ferrell. That's a good movie. It's bad, but it's good.
I wanna come up with a podcast name like Zach Galifianakis' show.
His is
Between
so
Two
funny.
Ferns.
It's so funny. Gosh.
Between Two Ferns. He's got. They're beautiful ferns. They're gorgeous ferns. Yeah.
Every movie he's ever been in is funny.
Yeah, I would agree.
He's not been
Is
doing
it
as
the
many
Candidate?
lately.
Look it up. I'm
looking it up. I'm
okay.
just gonna do it first.
I'll just keep looking at my songs. Oh, John Michael Montgomery.
What this?
John
that's
Anderson.
Off topic.
Very good. Oh, how could I forget about Travis Tritt? I'm sorry, Travis. We have a running joke in my family. I think it was my mom that accidentally. I don't know how the joke came up, but we call Travis Tritt Travis Trotter in my family. Travis Trotter.
The campaign.
The campaign. That's what it is.
That's what
Yeah.
you said.
No, I said the candidate.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think you're confusing that with that movie about the dictator. Because that has kind of the same.
What are you talking about?
It's on Netflix. I know what I'm talking about.
Okay. We could do a show one. I could do. You name 5 shows right offhand. We'll do. This is the last segment. Go ahead. 5 shows.
That I watch?
Mm-hmm.
Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
This Is Us.
Okay.
A Million Little Things.
Okay.
Ooh, it's hard. I got like 10. How do you expect me to pick one?
You ain't gotta pick. Just name 5.
Criminal Minds.
Mm-hmm.
Seen every episode of that.
Mm-hmm. Please say it. I know you want to say it. Say it.
South Park.
No. That's not. That's a good one that you watch. That's not the one I was talking about. Mine.
Station 19.
Okay.
911.
Okay.
911 Lone
Okay.
Star.
CSI.
Oh gosh, I could talk about that for hours.
Okay. See, if we catch a trend, can we catch
Law and Order SVU.
Can we catch a trend going here? It's essentially the same show that you, other than South Park, it is the same
Family Guy.
show that you named.
American Dad.
You don't watch American Dad. I've
Yes,
never
I
seen you watch
watched all
American
of their
Dad.
episodes. I haven't watched their new stuff, but I watched all the old ones.
When? 5 years ago? Because I hadn't seen you watch American
I
Dad.
watched American Dad.
I watch
Roger.
quality
Dynamic character.
quality television.
He watches 5 shows. Y'all ready for this? Jersey Shore.
Okay. Whoa, you're cutting at me.
That's his number 1 show.
Cutting at me. No, it's not.
He's lying.
No, it's not.
Okay.
That's on there.
Jersey Shore.
Okay.
Tool Time.
Oh, what's the name of it? What's the name of it?
Home Improvement.
There you go.
The Grand Tour.
Yep.
The old version of the Grand Tour.
Which is called
Top Gear.
Yep.
And what would your 5th one be?
There's one more. Can you name it? Can you think?
I used to would say Adventure Time, but you haven't watched that in a long time.
That's not it. It's one of the most wholesome quality family shows from the 80s and 90s.
Cosby Show?
Wow.
I know.
Oh wait, hang on. Let me just.
Wrong answers only. You ready? Wrong answers only. George Lopez.
Oh God.
I love George Lopez. Okay, what about Roseanne?
No.
I love those shows.
Okay.
I love all 3.
Okay, let me just say this.
Family Matters.
Can I say it?
No, I want to guess it.
You're bouncing all around it. I mean, anybody that's listening at home is probably screaming at you right now. It's the only other one that you haven't named that actually was good.
They're all good. What was it?
Wow.
What is? Oh no! Don't tell me. I know what it is. Gosh, he's so basic.
Come on.
You ready for this?
Hit me with. They already know it. You've named.
Full House.
Thank you. You've named all the other ones.
How do I know this? Because I just seen him watching an episode the other day.
Yeah, I love that show.
I turned it off.
I love that show. Now, granted, listen. When I was in middle school and when I was in high school, I was not aware of how crazy Bill Cosby was. Okay, if you would have asked me this in high school, I would have said Full House, Home Improvement, Bill Cosby, because that's the Cosby Show. Because that's literally all I watched. I loved the Cosby Show. If anybody listening to this did not like the Cosby Show, you're crazy. Because the Cosby Show was
Raven-Symoné was so cute.
Was amazing. The episode where freaking Bill Cosby gives birth to a sub that's like 10 foot long. A Subway sandwich, not a Subway sandwich. It's like a sub sandwich, and it's like 10 foot long, and he also gives birth to like an orange, a 2-liter orange juice, because he had to go on a diet, and his wife was not letting him eat the stuff that he wanted to eat. So he dreamed about giving birth to a Subway sandwich.
I miss the Cosby Show and family. I would watch it occasionally, but I have insomnia. Like,
if you had insomnia, those were the perfect shows for you to watch because it was Nick at Night.
No, I would wake up at about 3 a.m. when George Lopez was on.
Low rider, and it has people jumping. That's so stupid. Oh my gosh. Those are my 3 shows.
Or The Nanny. I like
Family
The Nanny.
Matters.
I watched a lot of episodes.
Family Matters, Roseanne, Nanny, and George Lopez. Family Matters was decent, but I couldn't watch any of those. Honestly, if you would have asked me back in the day what my favorite shows were, it would have been Fresh Prince, Cosby, Full House, and Home Improvement. But now it's changed. I don't think I would put Grand Tour in that. It would be Full House, Home Improvement, Top Gear, Jersey Shore, and then I would have to think about the 5th
He doesn't watch anything else, guys. He doesn't watch anything.
No. When she says I don't watch anything else, I literally don't watch anything else.
He doesn't watch anything else.
I binge watch those shows.
Other than The Chosen.
That's no. Leave The Chosen out of this because Chosen's on a different level. If you've not watched The Chosen, you need to download the app and watch The Chosen because it's a terrific show.
He talks about it a lot. He really likes it.
It's a fantastic show.
I'm gonna watch it when I get finished with this paper.
It's only one season. It was completely people. Me and you donated money to put the show on, so we're donating money to do the 2nd season. So it's pretty awesome
when it comes together.
Yep. Alrighty, well, we're actually going to end now, and I would like to do another podcast where we talk more about music and movies.
We might need to cut this in half.
No, this is fine. It's an hour. It's as long as our other one.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well,
tell them
nice
bye.
seeing you guys. Y'all have a great day.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Bye. Okay. Bye. Okay. Bye. Okay. Bye. Okay. Bye.